It is an abomination to meet somebody and after living the person's life, the person is worse. It's an abomination. Leadership is the act of helping people become more.
Good evening, everybody. On the 8th of March, every year, the whole world stands still to celebrate the enormous contributions of the woman to the development of different sectors of our economy. Today in GOTNI, we join the rest of the world as we celebrate the African woman, the Nigerian woman. We celebrate the woman's enormous contributions to different sectors of the economy. We celebrate the woman in the science sector. We celebrate the woman in technology. We celebrate the woman in the health sector. We celebrate the woman in the educational sector. We celebrate our mothers because we realize that true and meaningful development cannot take place until the women and the resources, all the resources that they represent, are integrated into the development process. Two-thirds, as we realize that women actually work two-thirds of the world's working hours. Do we realize that? The overwhelming majority of labor that sustains life is carried out by women. Labor like raising children, labor like growing food, labor like, taking care of the elderly. All these are actually done by women. And if women decide that people are going to start paying for these activities, just imagine the implications in economic terms. I'm sure some people would not even be able to pay for it, right? When we take a look at the Fortune 500 companies, it was actually realized that the companies that had at least 3 or more women on their boards actually had like a 46% increase in their profits. They actually also had like a 66% return on investments in such companies, as that when you compare them to organizations that had predominantly male-dominated boards. It's actually outstanding. So today, as we celebrate the woman in Nigeria, as we celebrate the Nigerian woman, as we celebrate the woman's contributions to the development of our world, I think it's pertinent for us to begin to appreciate and acknowledge the enormous resources that women bring to the table. We acknowledge our women as custodians of our culture, because it's actually the women that ensure that our cultures and the right values are passed down from generation to generation. We acknowledge and we celebrate the woman's ability to multitask. These skills are skills that are fine-tuned and honed with years of practice, even from childhood, as the woman most of the time, or the girl child most of the time, is just trust with responsibilities. We celebrate and acknowledge the woman's compassionate nature. It's this compassionate nature of women that makes the woman, most of the time, involved in peace building and peacekeeping processes. The woman is more a conflict resolutor. We appreciate and celebrate the woman, our mothers, for their painstaking contributions to making sure that even the leaders that we celebrate today actually are leaders of integrity. We appreciate and celebrate our women today. I think that it will be amiss for me at this junction not to celebrate the men amongst us that actually contribute and encourage their fellow women to aspire and to be the best that they can ever be. As we celebrate women as leaders today, I would like to enjoin more women to become voices. I would enjoin more women to participate in, to get more involved, even to become mentors, because we realize that the female child is looking up to us. A study was shown in India. Some communities were actually looked at in India. And they realized that the communities that had a lot of female leaders actually had their girls having aspirations, having more educational and life aspirations, as at when they compare them to the communities that had predominantly male leaders. So I charge us today that our women should rise up, our women should become voices, our women should begin to air their views and their opinions, because it's only the woman that can give the female perspective, especially when decisions are going to be made. As we celebrate women in leadership today, I would like to ask all of us to rise up and join me as we celebrate International Women's Day. Thank you.
Okay, moving right on now, as part of our celebration of the International Women's Day, we are going to be having a panel discussion on some of the issues that are pertinent to women. I'm going to welcome Mr. Ronsi Chidebe. Thank you very much. I know it's a women thing, but hey, we should hear the voice of our men too. Also, please welcome with me Mrs. Eno Awakesten. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to kickstart this discussion right on. Why do most men frown at women going into politics? Let's start from there.
One, taking care of the home front. They feel if the women go into politics, and who will take care of the children, who will manage the home and all that. So many men frown at that. Secondly, I think some men have a complex, inferiority complex. They think their wives will outshine them, and that's a problem for them. So men who have such complex will definitely frown and discourage their wives from going into politics. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, I think it's in two folds.
Okay.
I think which she bothered more on if I'm married to a woman and she wants to go into politics.
Okay.
It's totally different from I'm related to a woman, or possibly a woman just walk up to me and she says she wants to get into politics, or a woman is going into politics and I'm to vote for her.
Okay, okay.
So I think I'll just take the second direction. I don't know if it's clear. Yeah. So now the second direction now is that a lot of people, mostly in Africa, you understand, somehow we are trying to be more European than the Europeans.
Okay.
And that has really made it slightly difficult for us to believe in that power of woman. You understand that so many centuries ago, our great-grandfathers actually believed so much in women. I mean, there are some cultures in Africa where you see women are revered a lot, though not in general. Yeah.
Okay, so, Ma, let me just ask you, why do you think men frown at women going into politics?
Thank you very much. For me, I view it from the African perspective.
Okay.
In Africa, everybody believes that a woman's place is in the kitchen.
Okay.
And as such,
Please some disagreement.
and as such, every woman should remain at the backyard. They should not be seen. They should not speak out. And when a woman comes out, it now becomes a challenge, not just to the husband in the house, but to the men in general. Most of the times, the women, when they go out there, really outshine the men.
Okay.
And it's just as simple as that, because they put in their best. No woman wants to fail, and so they will put in everything in them to make sure that they succeed. And so, and I want to let us know that the men understand this. And so stepping out by any woman is a challenge to the man.
All right. I know that if I say men contribute to this now, I have like 5 hands up. Okay, but let me start from the woman.
One of the challenges women face as leaders is, in addition to what she said, the opposite sex. Because more often than not, men believe is the word. But when a woman now beats them to it, you find out that they resist you. When you give instructions, the typical man will look at you and say, after all, I have somebody like you, man. But fact remains that you're his boss, and that instruction needs to be carried out.
I'm Sadiq Muhammad. The challenges I think women face is numerous, but First, let's start from my own part of where I
Okay,
came
let's
from.
make that just one of the challenges. Thank you.
Permit me to say two, please.
Okay, you have to share the time of one.
I come from far north.
Okay.
I know how women have been degraded here. I'm very sorry to use such words. To me, a girl child is a thing of pride, it's a thing of honor. Why did I say so? All of us are women from women. If you don't have a mother, you have a sister. If you have a sister, you have a daughter. If you have a daughter, you have a wife. And nobody will have the same end of this person being degraded, isn't it? And secondly, women themselves, instead of them taking some challenges, when is it national, they took it to become personal issues. Instead of them to face some challenges in kind of rational way, they face it irrational way. So they themselves, they need to readjust themselves, and we men need to adjust ourselves in terms of women respect.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, I know so many people want to contribute, but we have a couple of questions to go. So I'm sure that as we go on, just make sure that you are ready. As soon as I say contributions, just be fast, okay? So we can move on sharply. All right, my next question is this. Okay, nobody should shoot me when I ask this question. Women make better leaders in the society than men. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay, let me hear you.
Thanks once again. My opinion on this is very clear. Everywhere where we are, we find that the women are just better leaders. They put in their best. No woman wants to be brought into disrepute. No woman wants to be involved in any form of corruption that will downplay her integrity. She wants to come in and go out clean. So I want to say that women make better leaders.
All right, Mr. Ramsey, you seem to be nodding in agreement.
I agree, but I mean with some exception.
Okay, let's hear it.
Not because I'm a man, yeah, but because when you say some women are better in terms of, I think it's relative, not all. Yeah.
Okay.
In Nigeria, we can really say yes, some percentage has been, but some hasn't as well. Yeah, so that's my standpoint. It's not really, it's not 100% true.
It's not 100% true.
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Ngozi.
In as much as I think women will make better leaders, I wouldn't just vote for a woman because she's a woman. I'll look for one who is prepared to lead. So a woman who is trained and ready to lead will likely make a lot better leader than a man of equal counterpart. And women are, they could be motherly with their motherly instincts, integrity, reputation, just like they do in the family. Imagine them doing that to a nation. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay, 2 contributions.
What is it? Okay. Women, they will do better than men because women are good decision makers. They are powerful too for peace and leadership. So women are peaceful. They will do better than men.
All right, let's have you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Harrison Chuma. Well, today, sometime last week or so, I was trying to put up an article on women. Then I've come to realize that women, I call them incubators.
Okay.
Understand? What do I mean by that? I started from the Bible to our secular life. I found out that a woman, she's good, but she cannot, most of them, at least 80%, they cannot move without a man. But what they need is just little encouragement. If you give a woman just little thing, she will metamorphose it. Understand? For instance, every one of us here, we are product of women. I consider women as God. Understand? If you give a woman one little thing, as a man contributed small to the existence of an individual, just little. The woman will blow it. If you give a woman little love, try that. She will multiply it and give you. If you give her a little problem, she will multiply it. So if you teach a woman, they find it difficult to take a risk anywhere they find themselves. But if you teach her how to take that risk, she will do it more than you. Understand? So at the end of the day, I concluded that a woman is an incubator. So whatever you give her, if you teach her how to manage, she will overmanage, as in she will do it better than you. So
All right, my next question is this. What challenges do women face as leaders? Maybe by some means you've already become a leader in some way. What are the challenges that are peculiar to women as leaders? Let me start with you, Ramsey.
Okay, number one is emotion. You understand? It's a very critical aspect of leadership. When you're able to have this great emotional intelligence, that you can really carry whatever situation you are facing. Yeah, I mean, when Ebola was striking, you understand, every day I just go on the internet. I would want to watch, to see how this woman is carrying on with the Ebola in Liberia. You understand? And you can't compare that with the way a man will carry it. You see that sense of emotion that people are dying. Oh, you even see the whole death on her face. You understand? But this will be different from a man. Yeah, people are dying, yes, but we have to do something more proactive. It's not about whether people are dying, then I should die with them. You understand? That's one. Okay, should I?
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Make it quick.
Okay, that's one. You understand? And then secondly, again, it's you see women, they are very, very strong. Yeah, but their strength is more in terms of the words, how they use the words and internally. You understand? There are sometimes some things that demand you exactly, and that would be a challenge.
Okay, all right. Ngozi, let me ask you, what challenges do women face as leaders?
I think challenges women face start from childhood, like somebody said, girl child. You don't grow up seeing yourself as a leader. So when you get into the position or you're looking at being considered, and when you don't even see yourself as one, and other people are trying to push you, I think that's a bit of a challenge. So sensitization, education from the onset, telling the girl child you are a leader and you can lead, you can do it. You have all it takes in you and you can do it. And that helps to build the individual, the female child. Then challenges, encouragement from the husband, from the home front, and then from the community at large. Let's encourage our women. Tell them you can do it and they will do it.
All right, Ma, let's hear you.
I see in another light, there's a complex. In as much as every woman believes they can do well, there's always that feeling behind them, can I really do well? And I think it's that complex that pushes a lot of women forward, because they feel that sense of inadequacy. That sense of inadequacy really pushes them forward. And most of the achievements they attain by and by is because they're trying to overcome that sense of inadequacy.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. 2 contributions. All right, Ma.
One of the challenges I know women face is women themselves.
Okay.
We women, we have refused to support our women. We have refused to support them, we refuse to accept them. Because if we give them the necessary support and acceptance, and refuse to be envious, because I think I see it that way. We refuse to be envious of them and we support them, they will be where they are. But when they are not supported by receiving the necessary support from the men, and we who are the same species like them are not supporting them either, I don't know how you want them to succeed. So women should learn to support women. Thank you.
Sorry. I have one last question here, and I'm sure the men will be gingering to just answer my question. What is the role of men in encouraging women in leadership? What is the role of men in encouraging women in leadership? Let's start with you, sir.
Okay. First of all, one, it's encouragement. There's a need to encourage the woman, motivate her. Imagine just the woman just dressed up, oh, darling, you look so beautiful. It will change a lot. Even if she's ugly, physically, by saying that she's beautiful, you've given her a confidence, you've given her the boost, you've stimulated her that anyone she sees on the gate, and she don't even have the key to the door. She's going to blow the door off.
Okay.
You understand? And that confidence is the same thing that is also a challenge in our own culture, because most of the ladies have been trained, or most of our kids have been trained in a way that you don't have to climb the mango tree because you're a girl, because you open up your skirt and someone will see something and stuff like that. You understand? So it's a challenge that we face, and men, we have that responsibility. Whether you are talking about your daughter, whether your wife, whether your colleague, you have to make her understand that this world has gone beyond sex. I keep saying it. We're no longer talking about gender now, we're talking about credibility. You have the power, you have the quality to do it. It's not whether you're a girl or a guy. I mean, go to world, the best world organizations you can think of now. You have women in all those places. So it's not about...
All right, thank you very much. Let's take a quick
Yeah, the role of the men, the role of men. For me, I think where they're supposed to come in is from infancy. As a child is growing up, the men around them, just with the mothers, should encourage, especially the female child, to be confident. And that confidence is garnered from the activities that they're exposed to. Just like my brother has said, if a child wants to climb a tree, you are stopped. But if you tell that child, oh, you are doing very well as you are going up, that child will gain the confidence and will grow up to be a very confident leader. But if, at the time the child tries to step out, you continue to bring her down, that child will grow up being, grow up with such a low self-esteem that he will end up being a misfit in the society.
Okay, thank you very much, Mom.
I think the role of the men in encouraging women, that's just like my fellow participants have said. It starts from the home. I think it starts from childhood. Keep building the child. Well, we're talking about the girl child now, but I think all the children should build the leadership quality and let them know who they are and what they can be, the heights they can get to. There are no glass ceilings, you can get to the top. The sky is just the starting point. Keep telling them things to build them, and I think that will help. The man, as a husband, encourage your wife, do limit, just like you said, you just keep telling her she can do it, and it works. The man at the workplace, like somebody said over there, if you find a woman ahead of you, listen to her, obey her, don't let her feel bad, don't let her feel like she cannot be the boss when she is already the boss. So listen to her and let it go. The man in the community encourage the female community, fellow community Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take 2 contributions, just 2.
Good evening. My name is Prince Wanko. Well, I think it has a lot to do with what we equip them with from childhood. If you have a girl child, I actually have 2 children. The elderly one is a girl, 4, and the other one is a boy, 2. So most times the boy will, go grab something from her, and she was like running to me and say, "Daddy, Chukudi has taken what belongs to me," so go get it from him. I'll just challenge her, go and get it back. She runs back quickly, collects it, and she stands, and that one will be crying. So if you don't, get them to understand that you can actually get what you want, this is a small boy, he shouldn't challenge you. If they don't grow up with that, you see that as time goes on, they get into the society, and anything any boy, tells them, they get afraid and they fall, victim to the men. So if you equip them with that information, they will grow up with it, and they will challenge the men in the society.
Thank you very much.
My answer is different. We're talking about men encouraging women, but most times women will not just wait forever for men to encourage them. So sometimes we have to move, and when we are moving, we'll wait for the men to join us, and if they don't, we are going to
Thank you very much. Thank you all so very much. All right, please put your hands together for our panelists as they go back to their seats. Come on, you can do better than that. Very much. I'm sure that a lot more people want to talk, but I assure you, like I always say, let's keep the conversation going. Let's get on Twitter, let's get on Facebook, and keep talking. Get on our website. You'll find the conversation ongoing and consistent. system there. Before I invite okay, he's not our special guest of honor, but he's our special guest of honor, if you get what I mean. Okay? All right, before we do that, we have a very short video clip of men saying what they think women are. We'll just watch that quickly, and then we'll get right on.
Hello, my name is Linus Okorie, President, Guardians of the Nation International. I joined the rest of the world to celebrate women all over the world because I know that women are multipliers of impact.
My name is Modesto Zaloze. On this International Women's Day celebration, I want to say that women are the backbone of the family, they are the backbone of the society, and they are the backbone of the world. So I celebrate women. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Ayeni Benjamin Uluropo. I want to seize this occasion of International Day of Women to actually appreciate and celebrate all women all over the world. I want to appreciate the fact that a woman can sell everything that she has to take care of her children, and by giving them chance, you're actually empowering society at large.
Okay, my name is Fred Emmanuel. Actually, it's Women's Day. I celebrate women for one thing, which is what help. Women are unique, they help so much.
My name's Onyeman Dubisi, and I want to use this opportunity to celebrate all the women in Nigeria and the globe as a whole as they celebrate their International Women's Day. They've been very awesome in all they do in the family and in Nigeria as a whole.
Yes, my name is Agbonika Victor. Today is an International Women's Day. Without women, we can't have a home.
My name is Ombiko Nameka Chris. I think what I would like to celebrate about the womanhood is a typical woman is a peacemaker.
My name is Mr. Emmanuel, and I celebrate women because they are unique in nature. You know, they have this coordination in them. They can build. In fact, they can do more than you think.
GOTNI, building outstanding leaders.
All right, please, it's about that time when you welcome that special guest of honor I was talking about. You know what I mean? Okay, please put your hands together with me as I welcome the convener of this meeting. He is the President, Guardians of the Nation International, Mr. Linus Okorie. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us this evening. Before I allow you to take the floor and just talk to us, we want to present gifts to our panelists. I'm sure they didn't see this coming, but we are inspired by your contributions. I want to say thank you for coming out to speak to us. So please, can I invite all the panelists, the three panelists, to please step forward. Thank you, as we do that quickly. Thank you very much. All right, this is on behalf of the Leadership Forum team and GOTNI.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Come on, put your hands together for us. Thank you. Wow.
Congratulations. This is very good.
Now I'll allow you to partake of the richness of the depth of knowledge in Mr. Linus Okorie. Thank you.
Good evening. We join the rest of the world to celebrate women today. I bring you greetings from the city of Owerri. I am just arriving from the city of Owerri, and I also bring you another good news. It will interest you to know that just yesterday, we have just inaugurated a 19-man leadership team for GOTNI Imo State. Fantastic. Wonderful. That was awesome. That was amazing. Mind-blowing. And I have returned with the same energy to say to you that whether you are a woman, whether you are a man, today is our day. Right? It's either you are a woman networking with women to make a difference in our world. How many of you are ready to make a difference today? Can I see your hand? Everybody wants to make a difference. Everybody wants to count. But the truth of the matter is that it is not everybody who wants to make a difference that ends up making a difference. So look at somebody and say, do you know who I am?
You know who I am.
If you know who I am today, you're going to buy me lunch tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whenever we are talking about leadership around the world, the critical element that we think about is how we can prepare ourselves for impact. No preparation, no leadership. Leadership, I have said severally, flows to the one who is competent. Leadership flows to the one who knows. Leadership flows to the one who is reliable. Leadership flows to the one who is ready to get things done. Is that not true? So, whether you are a woman listening to me today, there is nowhere in the world where they differentiate and say, this one, you are a woman, therefore the spirit of leadership is not in you. Is there anywhere? Leadership does not recognize whether you are a what? A woman or not. It's just an opportunity that a difference is before you and you make it. Rosa Parks. How many of us remember Rosa Parks? An unknown woman. Not known. In a time in American society when segregation was so high, a day came in that woman's life when she goes to work every day and she simply asks to stand up for a white person in the bus. Imagine you, after a day's hard work, you get into a bus in your suit and one dirty white person comes up to you to say, get up, get up, and then you comply on a daily basis. There's a sense of humiliation there, isn't it? That's what that woman suffered continually. But because that woman, despite of the challenges she was facing, she still kept going to work and being the best at work. She kept preparing herself. She kept telling herself that she is not just little as everybody makes her to look like. Does that make sense at all? You know, there's a way that the environment can make you look little. There's a way situations can make you look little. There's a way neighbors can make you look little. There's a way even your best friend can make you look little. That if you don't get commendation from that your friend, you actually think that you're not looking good. How many of you have ever experienced that? There is somebody in your life that he would always tell you that, hey, you're not looking good, you're not dressing well, you're not smart. They might not say it just like that. But guess what? That was what that woman was experiencing. And then one day she spoke to herself. One day she did what? She spoke to herself. Because before somebody takes an action, there must have been a thought process. Is that not true? Because thought will precede what? Action. So the woman must have looked into herself, spoken to herself, and says, wait a minute. I am a human being. I am an individual of honor. I'm a global citizen. I cannot just stand up for any sort of person. It's not right to ask a global citizen, to ask a citizen of the United States of America, as guaranteed by the Constitution, to stand up. I am a person that can sit down. I can enjoy the air condition in this bus, crossing my leg and sitting down, because it is my money that I'm using to pay the fare. That's what she thought about. Remember, that day came. She sat in that bus that day, and a gentleman walked up to her and said, could you please stand up? Not even please. Nigger, stand up. And she said, no. She's not standing up for today. She was done with being little. Now she wants to be a leader. And then she sat down, and they said, stand up, and they began to call the other white people, you know what I mean? To say, look at this woman, she doesn't want to stand up. Who does she think she is? The woman said, I'm a leader. I'm not going to stand up. And they said, you know what the law is? The law says that if you sit down, what happens to you? Police will arrest you. So she gave herself up for the arrest. They arrested her. And as soon as they arrested her, you know what happened? 103 old women who heard about the Rosa Parks situation, they said to themselves, if one person can start something, we can what? Follow. There are people who would always sit on the fence, two of us. They are waiting. Everybody has been experiencing that. Maybe they have been talking to themselves. There are people that through life, all what they would ever do is sit in their mind, how I wish I was that leader. How I wish I was that person who was honored yesterday. How I wish they see face of people on newspaper. They say, how I wish my face appears on a newspaper. And guess what? It is a thought. It becomes a murmur. That's what happens every day of their lives, right? They never take responsibility. But this day came. As soon as that happened, these 103 old women above the age of 70, old women, grandmothers, they started a movement. And they said, you know what? The best reaction to this incident is the economy of the states depends on the business owners. They own the transport system within the state. You know what we're going to do? Simply do, we won't enter those buses anymore. Hey, all the black brothers and sisters who have cars, give others a lift. Those who do not have cars, what do? Let's walk the distance. As simple as that. No rioting, nothing like exchanging words with anybody. I hear what I'm saying? Because you are a leader that wants to make a difference. Somebody says, shut up. You want to make a difference as a woman, and you say, shut up, shut up, shut up. Your mother, shut up. How many of you have heard that before? Yes, sir. You are somebody who wants to make a difference, isn't it? You're a woman who wants to count. And then it is your responsibility to say, my emotion. I'm a leader. I can control you. So somebody says, shut up. You look at the person and say, do you know who I am? Shut up, shut up, shut up. And the next thing, even with a slap. And then the next thing you say, why are they not making me a leader? Everybody knows that you slap people. Why would they make you a leader? The day they make you a leader, you'll be like the other lady who was made a leader and they went for party primaries and she slapped somebody, the chairman of the party, bang, bang, and the slap was reported all over the newspaper in the country. Yes, because that's what they say. You can't control your emotions. If you can't control your emotions, how can you be a leader? You see that? These people didn't say a word. And they started trekking long distances, refusing. They boycotted those buses. And it became a great movement for them. At the end of the day, that was how people like Martin Luther King Jr. were brought into the picture. Martin Luther King Jr. was just a man preaching in church. And that's how they brought him into the picture to now lead a movement that later became so successful. Those of you who have watched Selma can understand that as of yesterday, or was it 2 days ago something, Obama worked with those black people. Most of them were amongst those who walked on the bridge. You know that bridge, that famous bridge? That they were not armed. They were walking on that bridge, and because of they wanted this thing to be done, at the end of the day, they beat them up and all of that. But at the end of the day, they survived it because of vision. What did I say? But do you know they went to court? The court ruled that henceforth a man and a white person and a black person cannot sit together in the bus. Yes. Simply because one person did what? Today, you mean I will wear this my nice suit and I'll go to America and I'll be hanging like Molue? Imagine if Rosa Parks did not lead that movement. That singular act. That singular act. Do you get what I'm saying? It was a step, just like when the guys, stepped into the moon, right? What was it? It was a step into the moon, but it was a big bang of humanity. Is that not true? Yes, because what you do as an individual in one spot, I say it's something positive. What happens to it? It can magnify a cause. That's the point. And that was what this woman did. And fortunately, I went to Atlanta and I went to Martin Luther King Jr. Center, and I was shocked to my bones that I had finished working on some segment. I saw the shoe Martin Luther King Jr. wore before he died and all of that. And then I said, let me go to the other side. And I saw Rosa Parks, her own segment was just by the right. The same woman that led that movement, her name is also remembered in the history of America. And so Martin Luther King Jr. and that woman, they are sharing the American history. And you're telling me that because you're a woman, because you're a woman, your voice will not be heard? You tell me that. And then the next thing, you go on a blame game. What do you call a blame game? The blame game is called kitchen work. It's called what? Kitchen work. They say kitchen work. That I must be in the kitchen. Because there's what we call work-life balance. You know what that means? Work-life balance is a concept of leadership development that is critical for advancement. It means that you have the capacity to manage work and other segments that are important in your life. Is the balancing of that makes you a leader. Whether you are what? A male or what? A female. In fact, I even discovered that women who understand balance, they make such a huge difference. You know why they do that? Because women are committed people. I'm telling you, there's a natural instinct in women that brings commitment, that makes commitment extraordinary. That's why I normally use this analogy. Do you know that most of the churches that are existing in this country today, do you know that when the pastor started the church, usually the number of women that join the church process is usually very many. Who can true of us? They are the ones that will lead the sweeping team and sweep and sweep and sweep, isn't it? Yes. If you go to prayer meeting, they are the ones that are kabashing. If you go to choir, they are the ones everywhere. Go to help ministry, they are the ones. They are the ones who provide that support. That's why at the end of the day, you know, the pastor can really be so excited, and they're the ones that bring their husbands. True of us. Because usually the woman starts first. It's very difficult to see the guy starting first. Usually the woman starts first, and then the woman now gradually brings the husband, and then everybody, then the next family, then the next family. It's because of the level of commitment. Women care. Do you get what I mean? They have a caring spirit. They can make things happen if they love you. If women love you, they can make things happen for you. I can tell you that. So the concept of what I'm trying to do is that it's not really whether you're a woman or not, but what I'm saying is that women have the capacity to make a difference in our world. Who is a woman here? I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume that you know that you're a woman. Who is a woman here? Because in some cases you can see men raising their hands. Because I'm telling you, sometimes people don't really have an idea in a real circumstance who is a true woman. You say you're a woman, there are certain expectations. You're a bridge builder. You're a homemaker. You can build a nation. If I were you, I had made a case before, and I said one of the greatest ways that we can begin to build leaders in this country is you have a child in your stomach for how many months? 9 months. For 9 months, you should be speaking and training the child in the stomach on how to become a leader. True of us? Sure. Do you know that by setting, if for instance you are pregnant and the next thing somebody says shut up, you say shut up 10 times. What you should be expecting is that if you have said that shut up and quarreled, and the child keeps hearing you quarrel all the time, you're quarreling, you should start beginning to expect that as that child is born, the child has mastered the act of quarreling. These are facts. These are facts. I'm telling you, because 9 months of consistent quarreling outside, the child is building that momentum for quarreling. I'm telling you. So that's why by the time the child comes out already, under 9 months, the child is fighting everybody. How many of you have seen those children before? How many of you have seen them? Many of them these days, because they grew up in an environment of quarrel, but see the peaceful environment. If you're somebody who is pregnant and you are always entering the library to read something, I'm telling you what is true. You're always reading something and your mind is always taking something. And those of you who watch television and you watch very, very, maybe Discovery channels, all of those interesting channels, research channels, and all of that, I am telling you, you are producing a child that will be given to what? To research. A deep thinker. But if you are a woman pregnant for 9 months and you start movie magic, hold on, movie magic, all of that, you spend 9 hours every day watching movie magic, the child is growing. At the 7th month, the child is already, you laugh, the child laughs inside. Are you sure you know what I'm saying? So the child knows all the names of the actors and actresses, but the only challenge is that he cannot pronounce the names yet, but can recognize them. You think that's a serious matter? Oh? So it tells you, now guess what? If that child begins to, once that child is born, and whenever you're watching this thing, you are feeding the child milk. It is what is on, the soundtrack. Remember, the ears, they hear a lot, you know that? The soundtrack, movie, maybe it is the time where somebody wants to go to native doctor. It goes, yeah? The child will just do like this. Seriously. I'm telling you, if you want, maybe you have not observed it. One of the greatest gifts of leaders is the power of observation. Is the power of what? Observation. Leaders observe. They have the capacity to observe the environment. Immediately step into a place. I advise you, my wife knows that one of the greatest things that I like to do, if I walk into a place, I'm in a car driving, my eyes are doing what? My eyes are, I'll tell her, I don't trust that car. Do you get what I mean? I'm telling you. So it's like, you're observing everyone. So you walk into a room, you should start observing who is sitting beside you. Is that not true? Because you have an idea who is sitting beside you. So if you forgot something on your seat and you're at home, you can picture exactly the person who was sitting beside me. By the way, did he look like a gentleman, really? Do you understand what I'm saying? It can give you a clue. It might not give you an answer. So but take it the other way around. And you were somebody who said you're watching nice things and the child is seated with you watching those things. And once you're speaking words into the child's life, you are a leader, you're a fantastic leader. If you're like me, who, I call my little children, I come and everything, I just take them to the library. Once the leadership clinic starts, I begin to call them. My last daughter, I said, Chi Mama, where are you? Come and watch Daddy. You think I just want her to watch me? My style, I'm using style to get her. To that time, she's shouting, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. She's hearing something. In her mind is, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And she's shouting and calling her other sisters and siblings, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. But what I'm doing is simply getting her in a place where I'm grooming her for leadership. So sometimes I finish leadership clinic and the thought is still on my head. The ones I didn't finish with you here, as I'm going down, they're welcoming me. I am already citing another speech, concept of leadership. And I say, Chimama, this concept of blah, 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 I make a speech there. I say, she's also looking at me like that. It's leadership teaching. Imagine if every mother does that. If every mother does that, you will become a nation builder. Because where we get it wrong is that in our homes, we don't think that, we don't talk about it, we don't think that leadership is important. Even the person said, you cannot give what you don't have. Do you know what I mean by that? You cannot give what you don't have. So if you cannot give what you don't have, so begin to ask a question. The reason why you cannot give what you don't have is that leadership matters most of the time are not soft matters. Do you know what I mean? Leadership matters are not what? Soft matters. They require stretching. They require what? Stretching. They require stretching. To learn requires what? Stretching. To dance does not require stretching. I hope you know. Yeah. To dance is fun. It's relaxation. Is that not true? Yeah. Once you hear the drums, kokoro, 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 you can move your body. But to learn, most of the time you're sitting down, the whole day you are tired. Your brain cells are what? are weak. And guess what? You have not even used 10% of your brain. That's why once you let a little bit, you get tired. You know why? Your brain cannot take more. Meanwhile, your brain has the capacity to take 100%. How can you give what you don't? Can't give what you don't have. So my message today are in twofold. First, remember I started with the power of what? Preparation for what? That leadership flows to the one who is what? Prepared. That this concept of women freedom. How many of you have heard about women freedom? Women in Beijing we stand. Beijing conference. People are talking about it up to now. Women came back and they said we are taking over from men. And so one day I saw a group of women with the language. I went to a women conference, they invited me to speak, and the women were charging. Every of them that came on the podium said, "We women, it's time for us to take over. We take over from this man." I say, hey, every one of them, say it was my turn. As part of women, it was my turn. And I just simply asked a question, and I said, all of the women listening to me today, how many of you would like to actually take over from men? All the both hands. I said, okay. How many of you listening to me today, in one day, you have brought out 2 hours for learning? Just 2 hours for learning. You have done that excellently. 2 days, just 2 hours every day. Just then the next hand came up. So by the time I finish taking care of the children, I return back, I go to work every day, and I come back to the house, I'm taking care of the children. What time do I have to learn? And I said, oh really? Oh really? You want to take over? If you are coming from a disadvantaged position, you want to take over. Do you take over in a disadvantaged mind? No. You guys understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Look, it's just like somebody at the airport, one of the presidential candidates right now, somebody at the airport, and he said, Linus, I'm thinking that you should make statements about generational change. Those of us in this generation should be the ones to be leading. So I said, sir, is it all about the concept of being young? Those of you who say it's time for young men to get into what? Give young men, they are not asking for 35%. Give young men 35% as you have given to women. I ask myself the question. The fact that you're a young man, does that make you a leader? No. All the young men that have been in leadership in this country before, who most of them were governors at very early ages, how many of them made a difference? Now, those of you also shouting women, haven't you also seen women that have been tested and proven in power, and they got there and they became an embarrassment? Have you seen them? So what is the issue? What is the issue? The issue becomes personal. It becomes what? It becomes personal preparation. So if you go to the market and say, all the people in the market, come, let's discuss important issue facing the country. Even the madman that is seated there carries his own, whether it's book or maths. Whether it's book or maths, he carries it and comes to the conversation table. Is that not true? You say, okay, one of the problems facing this country is education is dying. Has disappeared. The madman says he jumps into the conversation and says, yes, that is why we must be dancing in this market every day. I bring my people, we are dancing in this market, and somebody say, hold on, it's not your turn yet. He said, who are you? Where am I now? That's from the perspective I'm coming from. Number one, you now begin to remove the concept of whether I'm a woman or not. The word does not answer to whether you are what? A woman. The word answers to whether you are a leader or not. I'm telling you. That is why Mrs. Clinton might be the next president of America. Huh? It's not because she's a woman. I hope you know that. It's because the kind of experiences and preparations she has gone through is pushing her up for such endorsement. Have you prepared yourself in such a way that when the country stands up right now, they say they want to nominate 3 persons for ministerial appointment, and it falls on in your state, and somebody mentions your name, can they move towards you? So, for those who were propagating bottom power, you know there was a concept called bottom power in this country? Bottom power in this country, those who propagated it, but they have discovered that it's no longer sustainable. It's not what? Bottom power can at least push you to the appointment. And they announce your name, minister for this. Bottom power has pushed you there. But let me ask, when it's now time to do the work, does bottom power push you there too? No. It can protect you for a while, but the people of the country have freedom to their what? They are the one to judge whether you are doing the work or not. And so would you now go to every person who has gone on television and spoken negatively about you to knock on their door? I have come with bottom power. You will die. It's not possible. So you now see that it is beyond that. You must get to a place of strength. You must get to a place where you are so prepared that what is making way for you will be your content. What did I say? Your content. Your content. What is content? What is content? What? Even today, as I'm talking to you, a lot of wise men no longer marry according to beauty. Physical beauty. Right now. Before, a lot of men used to marry for social ladder. For social what? To climb. You marry, okay, so she's from a rich home, okay. Does she have content? No, but it doesn't matter. At least I can climb. These days, we have detested it. It's no longer working. Because there'll be a lot of people married in such situations and it doesn't take 6 months. Everything scatters. So people are looking for content. Number one is what? Content. What do you have in your inside? I'm serious. No, seriously. That's the way I'm telling you. If you want to live a peaceful life as a leader, those of you who are not married, I advise you, whether you're a man or a woman, your decision should be very deliberate. It's called what? There are people today who have become presidents around the world. And when they step out, when their wives step out, you begin to wonder, did this man know was going to be president? I'm telling you. So let it be deliberate. Then final thoughts that you have to take very seriously is that preparation is the foundation for leadership development.
From today's celebration, I've learned that I should not allow myself as a female to be intimidated in any areas of life. They need to go out there and look for knowledge, because knowledge gives them the confidence that they lack as female. No father or mother will tell you as a girl child you can lead, but by the time you get the knowledge, you build your self-confidence, you see yourself, you see people desiring you and demanding for you to come and lead them.
I would rather say it was quite impactful. I learned that leadership has to be something you have to prepare for. Leadership, it has to be someone that is ready to take off responsibilities, and at the same time, be ready to be the doer instead of waiting for others to do it.
GOTNI, building outstanding leaders.